following program is presented by the Jericho Network in association with Podcast One. Hey, this is Chris Jericho inviting you.
Next up on And Juicy for All, Flat Worlds Collide, as Juventud Guerrero gets to converse with the host of the Flat Earth podcast, Mr. David Weiss.
How did you start? You're obviously, people are obviously not born flat earthers because we're taught in school.
We're all born flat earthers, and then we're indoctrinated right out of it.
Okay, so go through the process of when you became a flat earther and your theory.
I have a similar story to everyone that becomes a flat earther. I did a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, which was all about different conspiracies for 3 years. And in the last year, in the third year.
Wait, is that your podcast?
Yeah, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. That's me.
And you know what? Okay, just real quick sidebar is, at work I'll YouTube like a lot of videos, and I caught him in like the Harvey Weinstein,
Sandy Hook.
And then the Grove? What's it called? The Bohemian Grove, like it. And I stumbled on your podcast then, so I've heard some of your stuff. Because inside the rabbit holes, you went into some of these theories. Okay,
deep inside the rabbit hole, correct?
Deep inside the rabbit hole, correct?
Yeah. So that podcast ran its course, but during the last year, a whole bunch of fans started sending me flat Earth stuff, and I would just delete it. I wouldn't even watch a 1-minute video because it's nonsense. It's absolutely ridiculous. Flat Earth is the dumbest thing on the planet. That's what we've all been told. And then finally, I was speaking with another researcher that I respect highly, and we're talking about just how insane the deception was about all of the stuff that's going on. And at the end of the conversation, she goes, for all I know, the world may be flat. And I'm like, what? And I was like, all right, that's it. I'm going to debunk this. And when you seriously take the time to debunk it, there's no way out because ball earthers, no disrespect, don't even understand what they believe. We've just been told all of this stuff and as a child, and then we have no ability to fight it, and we're indoctrinated with that for our entire lives.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you came across that started swaying you? Like give me the most compelling evidence to the flat Earth as opposed to the round Earth.
I will, and also, this is I don't know how long we're going to be on, but it's really a complex subject, and in 15 minutes, 30 minutes really doesn't do it justice. So we'll do our best here. We'll get through it, and if you want to have me back on, we can do that also. But there's 3 categories that things can fall in if you really boil it down: works on a ball Earth, works on a flat Earth, or works on both a ball Earth and a flat Earth. And what you'll find out as we go through any things that you guys bring up or I bring up is that nothing falls into the only works on a ball Earth basket. So one of the things is curvature. There is no curvature. No one has ever seen it, measured it. No matter how high you go, there's no curvature. Now, people say, I fly in an airplane, I could see the curvature. And basically the horizon, which is always almost at your eye level, no matter how high you go. The horizon means the limit of your sight, the circle of your sight. So if you're standing on a flat plane, you can only see X number of miles in each direction. So if you drew a dot at the limit of your eyesight at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, all the way around, you're making a circle, but a flat circle. And when our mind programming sees that curved edge, we see a ball. Just because of programming. So anyone that says they have seen curvature from an airplane, go up on an airplane again, take a picture when it's if you have a clear day, and then put a straight edge to it. It's flat. There's so many things about the ball Earth. I have a YouTube channel. It's called DITRH. Stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. DITRH. And I have a video called Not Spinning, Not Orbiting, Not Flying Through Space. It's one of the most recent videos up there. And it basically shows the total nonsense of the heliocentric model. You believe that every time you watch the sunset, you're falling over backwards at 1,000 miles per hour, which is almost double the speed of sound. That's what ball earthers believe. Not only are you spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, you're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles per hour, which is utter nonsense. You can't even imagine that. Not only are you orbiting the sun in an elliptical orbit, so you'd have to be speeding up and slowing down, you're chasing the sun at 600,000 miles per hour.
All this for me,
and nothing changes.
all of this for me is ridiculous just to listen to, and for other people it's like, oh, it's the way it is, and it's like, really, it's like doesn't make any sense, you know.
Yeah, what I'm saying, what I ask people to do is, instead of just spewing out your indoctrination, gravity, or whatever, you have to just clear your head and say, okay, how do I have proof of this? The only images that we have of these planets that we're all so familiar with come from two sources, NASA and Disney. Okay, right. That is it. If you get a high-powered telescope or even a good zoom camera and zoom in on a star, and you can actually zoom in on a star, you'll see that it's close, because you couldn't zoom in on it if it was, the nonsensical light years away. We're told that the sun is 93 million miles away, okay? And it takes light about 8 minutes to get from the sun. You guys have all heard that, right?
Right.
We've all seen the model of the Earth where the sun is like one of those big blue gym balls and the Earth is a tiny marble or a pebble next to it, right? So that's the scale. So imagine you're on this little pebble and the gym ball is literally just an inch above the pebble, and you're looking up. All you would see is the sun. Everybody agrees with that. So now we're going to move it 93 million miles away, and it goes from filling the entire sky to the size of a dime held at arm's length. We can all agree with that.
So what's the end game here? Why are we being taught that otherwise? Okay, so who's they? The government? So what's the end game here? Why are we being taught that otherwise?
I hate when this question comes up at the beginning, but it always does. The they are the bloodlines that have been ruling this planet. I said planet, ruling this world. They have been doing it for longer than we know. You can say it's the Rothschilds, which are worth over $500 trillion. Or it's people above them. It's people that we've never even seen or heard of. But whoever is running it, is using these governments. These are just puppets in the government, and only the highest of the people that we're aware of that we think are ruling the world are in on it. There's not as many people in on it as you would think need to be.
Well, here's people that would have to be in on it. I went to private school. I had two friends of mine that went to the Air Force Academy, and they're Delta pilots now.
So think about this.
Okay,
pilots,
okay. So am I allowed to believe that these friends of mine are in on this conspiracy?
They don't even know.
They're probably not correct.
Right.
So there was a pilot that came out recently claiming that the Earth is a woman pilot of a large airline pilot. She came out pro flat Earth, and she's grounded. She's no longer flying. There's plenty of pilots.
Yeah, let's be honest. If you've got an airline pilot that isn't accepting common laws of physics and science,
so
would you want them? I don't think. Okay, I would say.
Hang on. You have to not get triggered. So this is your indoctrination talking, and let me help clear it up. Airplane is a word. Airplane, over the earth plane. They treat the Earth the Air Force has a manual that treats the Earth as a stationary level, unmoving plane. So all of their calculations are based on a non-moving flat Earth. It's in their manual. It's in NASA's manual. Not that NASA, I don't want to get into that right now, is going anywhere. But we fly up and we fly in a straight line to the destination that we're going to. But on a ball Earth map, it's a crazy curved line. But in reality, it's a straight line.
Yeah.
And airline pilots, some of them know, most of them don't know, but they're indoctrinated with believing it's a ball. They're busy. They're not even looking out, when they're flying. The passengers look out more than they do.
Wait a minute. What do you mean the pilot doesn't look at where he's flying? What else is he going to do? How do you know?
They play cards and crossword puzzles. And
some of them actually do their job. You know what
I'm saying?
Well,
no, they take off and they land.
And they just so they don't even know. Come on.
But
the plane is set to go to the destination.
Okay, here's my other question.
Wait, a couple more points on airline. If with the accepted size of the Earth, 24,000 miles around, the curvature at 550 miles per hour, they would have to nose down a mile every 2 minutes just to maintain the same altitude. But that's not what they do.
Or you go out of the.
Or you'll be gaining altitude because the Earth will be dropping away from you a mile every 2 minutes.
So why are we being indoctrinated this?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go back to that. The reason is control, because they want to keep us thinking that they're living in a world of fear, believing that there is nothing more to discover, that we are in a closed, and I didn't say enclosed, closed system on a ball. And that's all that there is, because once you realize that they are lying to us, that they're hiding continents, they're hiding land out in the southern oceans and beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, there could very well be many, many more continents of land. There's a story called the Iron Republic, which you could find audio online. It's called the Iron Republic, of a ship that was going around Antarctica and went through one of the openings and found a whole other continent.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Who was it? Was it Robert Byrd or something like that? No,
Admiral Byrd.
Admiral Byrd. Right.
Yeah, I did read about that.
Don't you think with the possibility, this is just something that happened today, okay? Don't you think with the possibility of the fact that North Korea just launched an intercontinental ballistic missile, okay, and they said it went 2,800 miles into the sky, okay, and that's how high it went, all right, and that it could hit they would, based on that and based on the fact that the Earth is round, okay, at 28,000 miles, it would go from North Korea and hit our continent in like 40 minutes or something like that.
Right.
How could that be possible on a flat Earth?
So
if it's going 28,000 miles straight up in the air.
So Disco, I want you to take a breath on the next thing I'm going to say, and not get triggered. Kim Jong-un is not the wild maniac that they say he is. He's probably not even a real person at this point, and they don't have any missiles that can go there, and they don't have any nukes. But that's a whole nother show that we can do.
That's a whole nother level.
But I sent you guys on Skype a flat Earth map, and I heard you guys. I heard you guys talking about you went to Japan, and there's two ways to go to Japan. You can go east or west, which is a circle around the center point. That's both on a ball and a flat Earth. To maintain a heading of 90 degrees or 270 degrees, which is east and west, you have to constantly correct to the north on a ball and on a flat Earth. On a ball, though, in the south of the equator, you would have to correct to the south, but that's not what ships' captains are reporting. They're reporting that they have to always correct to the north. And on an airplane, you wouldn't even notice it because the GPS is flying the plane. The autopilot's flying the plane. And let me just make a quick plug. My YouTube channel, I have all my videos are under 5 minutes. They're for the people that aren't willing to invest time yet. And you watch my videos, and they'll lead you to, my videos are a gateway drug to longer videos.
What is your YouTube channel, bro?
It stands DITRH. It's the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. Mm-hmm. DITRH.
Well, here's the thing that I just find is that you have so many countries, so many governments, okay, that would have to be
in on it,
and that are enemies of each other.
Are they?
Okay. Yeah.
How many battles did we have in the Cold War? How many battles were there in the Cold War with Russia? How many battles were there? How many men did we lose? Zero. It's
Right.
nonsense. It's all just it's a war economy. It's
what about the Middle East?
The Middle East, it's nonsense. The all of that stuff. Now, yes, there is issues in the Middle East, but they're not. Now they want to kill us because we're the great Satan to them. But terrorism, it's all faked. It's all faked. All of it.
Okay.
My eyes just got really wide.
We got to go to something. But I'm telling you what. I'm going to. You have me interested.
All right.
You've hooked me. Okay, I'm going to watch your videos because I like interesting things like this. I'm going to watch your videos. I'd like to have you back on because I will obviously either you will convince me the Earth is flat by watching these, or you will. I don't like the word triggered, but you probably create enough interest in me to ask you some more serious questions.
Right.
About this, which okay, all right.
David, I have a question. Why do you think people is so into this dictrination, about the circle? Why do you think they see the fact?
That's everything you learn. Yeah.
So once you have a child and a person of authority tells them something, it becomes a core belief, and they don't have the ability to fight it. And then those core beliefs, you grow up with them, and we're indoctrinated. Every movie, every television show has spinning globes in it. They're always talking globes. They're sticking it everywhere, and everybody wants to feel safe in the world that they believe that they live in. But when you find out that the Earth is not a spinning ball and it's flat and stationary, at first it upsets you. No, I always say nobody likes having their ball taken away. And literally you're taking a ball away from a little kid, and that's what they're hugging onto. But once you find out where you live, a whole new insight of your life comes.
Bro, it's thought-provoking talk, David, which is what we love on this show, man. So we want to invite you back, and we also want to thank you for being on Keeping It 100. Boom.